This is Fresh to Death Comics with B. Luke and Hans.
I'm not so sure anymore.
Oh, this is Fresh to Death Comics.
All right.
I was thinking of other things.
Lions.
There was last week we had spring break off, and we went to Chicago. C2E2.
C2E2.
C squared E squared, as the math people put it.
I think they can still put it C2E2.
Math people like to say C squared E squared. Sounds funny and educational.
Hilarious.
But we have a whole bunch of inside scoop exclusive from some of the writers.
Boop-a-da-boo.
Boop-a-da-boop. Because I talked
exclusive sound effects.
Those are exclusive sound effects because I got to talk to him, and I talked to Fred Van Lente, and he gave me some exclusive insight.
We talked to everybody.
We did. Talked to Jeph Loeb. It was pretty exciting. So it was in Chicago. It took us a long drive to get there.
Too long. I wanted to slay you.
I'm going here by my camera.
We may or may not be in Detroit. If so, somehow we bypass cars are moving.
What is going on?
I don't know right now,
Just
but
rock out and hope for the best. I don't want to rock out.
I think we're gonna die.
2/3 of a mile, we have to do something. I have to do enough.
I need to take a dump.
I-75 south. That's it. Left lane. Left lane. Car.
That's why I didn't get over it.
I'm so scared.
I can't see anything.
Oh my God. Oh,
Am I in the right? That's not where you want to be. I want the exit. I don't want to be in Detroit.
we can see I'm enough angry about things. No more Detroit.
Alright, so we're not going to
We're
Detroit.
not going, not on purpose.
Yeah, you got pretty angry sometimes.
Just rip your head off and
I'm sorry, I don't
feed
know
it to the lions.
I'm sorry I didn't know the Sears Tower wasn't the Sears store.
All right, just because it says Sears on it and it's large. does
I
not mean
thought
it's
it was the Sears Tower. I mean, I've never been to Chicago. I thought... Because the Sears Tower actually looked like Green Lantern headquarters. Because it's got it looks like the new Green Lantern battery power.
Is where the core should set up.
It should be...
You think they should be based in Chicago as opposed to Oa?
It should. I think so.
Sounds good to me.
But, yeah, how'd you like it, Hans?
It was amazing.
Now, you and me are
I
both...
definitely want to go again every year.
Every year. I agree. I loved it so much. Now, also, Rebecca, she's here as well. She went on the trip, and she doesn't like comic books. I think you've read one comic in your life.
Yeah, and that was Archie.
Who doesn't love Archie?
I love Archie. He's married now and everything.
Is he?
Yeah, he got married a couple months ago. Like, during the summer.
Did you attend his wedding?
No,
I had a nice blue tux on, and you're like, "Hey, Archie!"
I flipped through the wedding issue.
Did you pose as Jughead? Did you stuff him in your trunk and dress as Jughead to be his best man or something?
I stole the wedding ring, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty bold.
It was pretty bold of me, but that's what I did.
All right.
But Rebecca, you went there. You're not in the comics that much. You went. I think you went because of us.
Yeah, basically. But it was.
Did
it
you
was
have fun? Tell us your experience from a normal person's point of view.
It was fun seeing all those familiar characters all dressed up. There's stormtroopers. There's people from Kingdom Hearts there. There's a lot of people in meeting Fred Van Lente and Jeph Loeb.
Who?
Intense.
My favorite part from you was the fact that the Kingdom Hearts guy. I think I have a picture of you like staring at him like, that guy's from Kingdom Hearts. I know this. Because there's people dressing up and you're like, who is that person? Who is that person? And I
think it's at that moment you became, a nerd.
It was pretty exciting.
It was a turning
and
moment.
Became one of us.
No, her
one
turning,
of us.
Your turning moment was when they gave out free comics, which we're gonna talk about some of them because
they gave everything.
They gave out The Dark Knight by David Finch. They gave out Batman and I said Bathman.
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 I think we should write that.
Bathman.
That would be a very interesting comic book.
I go to the bathroom in every issue and take a bath.
What soap will I use today? Will it be Dove?
Dove is Lysol. No, I don't know that soap.
I don't remember.
But Batman Incorporated and Superboy were some of the main big ones they gave out, and I read them. And she opened up a comic book; it was a Marvel book, and all of a sudden she saw Joe Quesada's name and who was it? Brian Michael Bendis, and she's like, "I have to get out of here. I know." I opened up this book and I recognize the title. I recognize people in this book now.
That's when you know you're in too deep.
Or in just far enough.
That was my favorite part because she's just like, I know these people. We met Matt Fraction, the writer of Uncanny X-Men and Iron Man, and now the new Fear itself. And according to the panels we went to,
According to Matt Fraction, read Fear itself.
Because it will solve everything. Do you have a digestive problem?
Read Fear itself.
Do you have problems going to sleep?
Read Fear itself.
Do you get scared by the public?
I think you should read Fear itself.
What's going to happen to Daredevil? Read Fear
I don't
itself.
know. I don't know about that one.
No, he said everything.
You might want to ask David Liss about that one.
David Liss. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. Some of the panels. Some of them weren't so enticing. One of the ones was
but that's most of the fans' fault for asking ridiculous questions.
Yeah, the same questions over and over and over again. I like the Blue Lantern. I like the Green Lantern. What's your guys' favorite lantern? And then they asked them they're the artists. The Green Lantern panel had the artists on there, and they asked questions related to the writing and not the artist point of view.
Which made absolutely no sense.
Because, I mean, as an artist, they are putting out so many comics that they wanted the artist to say the oaths, brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape that kind of stuff. And they wanted them to quote it verbatim. And, number one, I think, what's his face? The guy who does Emerald Warriors. He was the only guy who knew English. Everyone else was from Portugal and Brazil. So knowing English in that retrospect was hard enough as it is, like trying to talk to us.
Who are you talking about?
Ivan Reis. Ivan Reis and the Portuguese guy.
Prado,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, Doug Mankey was there too. He was
Doug
English.
Mankey was there, yeah.
Yeah, you signed some
He
stuff.
looks like a professional wrestler.
He does. He looks pretty scary. I can't imagine with a pen, like, I'm incredible. Like, I feel like he gets to get angry and, like, destroy a pen. So he's beef. First off, he's like 6'5".
No, he's not that tall.
He was tall. Maybe 6'2".
All right.
And he had, like, big biceps on him. Like, it looks like he hits the gym, like, regularly. He had more muscles than Chris Evans.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Why are we talking about Doug Mankey's muscles?
It's just the way it went, sir.
It's true.
All right. So, what's one of the things you want to talk about first, Hans? You want to do what's up with the Wakandans?
Go for it.
All right. What's up with the Wakandans?
Terrible theme song.
We're working on it.
So what is up with the Wakandans, Brian? Where do we see, what's his name? Black Panther. T'Challa, if you will.
According to C.B. Sobolski. And David Liss.
Okay.
Daredevil will be staying in New York City for the next year.
Daredevil?
The Man Without Fear, Black Panther.
There you go.
Is going to stay in New York City for the next year.
Right.
And
they have stories planned for the next year through 2011, maybe 2012.
They said throughout this year.
So the rest of this year.
So rest of this year at least, and after that, who knows? But yeah, Daredevil, Daredevil, he turned into a demon. Like he's possessed by a demon, and he feels bad about what he's done. So he's on the run in the West.
Right, he killed Bullseye. Isn't that the main reason he's kind of on the run? I don't really know.
He's on the run because of Bullseye, and also he took over Hell's Kitchen, and he feels like he lost part of his soul.
Right. Okay.
So he's kind of doing like a Gandhi walk, I guess you can call it, just walking around helping. No, he's doing a Kane walk. You know, Kane the Ninja Fighter. He's just going around, walking around, and helping people.
All right.
So that's what's planned out for the next year with him.
Yeah, but if you miss Daredevil, if you want to see more Daredevil and you're not happy with Reborn, Mark Waid and who is it, Paulo Rivera?
That's right.
Paulo Rivera, Marcos Martin, they're putting out a new Daredevil book starting in May.
Yep. And not too much information about that Punisher.
All those people worked on Spider-Man previously. So.
Correct. And I believe Waid did the Punisher versus Spider-Man issue.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was Waid. But, they said it's going to be a whole new Punisher Reborn to it. It's going to be have interesting things to it. And
Daredevil,
my favorite thing of...
Daredevil.
Who am I...
You said Punisher. Just keep going.
All right, I meant Daredevil.
I know you did.
I'm out of it.
You are. We had no rest.
We didn't. It was a crazy week. We literally drove like 12 hours.
We ate like twice.
We did. I think we have a problem with eating on the road. We're just like $6 for a hamburger.
Let's
no way.
It out.
Where's our mom's? Like all I could think of was like, where's my mom? Because she could pay for a meal for me.
That's ridiculous.
Because I was like, should I get gas or a burger?
Probably gas. I need to go home.
Yeah, that's what ended up we deciding. So, sorry, I'm a little out of it.
All right, back to Daredevil. Are you looking forward to it?
I don't know. Right now they're doing the Reborn thing, and I don't. I'm up in the air about it.
But for those
I'm
that aren't
interested,
happy with
but I don't feel like paying. Wait, I don't know how much it's going to be because they said there was a whole argument about the $3.99 pricing.
That was like all weekend.
Yeah, everyone was all like, "Why aren't you $3.99?" And I think they had a thing where they just memorized the script before they came.
I think so too because at least 3 different people said the same thing.
Yeah, they go at Marvel Comics. I think I can do it pretty much verbatim what they said. For Marvel Comics, when you buy them, you're expecting the best of the best, and when you buy from Marvel, you are getting just that. You're getting the best writer team, the best artist team, and the best storylines that money can buy.
And we want to continue to provide you with that.
Yeah, and to be able to do that without cutting, your satisfaction, we have to keep it at the $3.99. But our new titles that are coming out are going to stay at the $2.99.
No, they're going to try their best.
Try their best to keep it $2.99. But all the titles you see now are going to be $3.99.
All the titles that are $3.99 will remain $3.99.
Yeah. And it was like a per Batum. I mean, I think that was pretty much on key, right?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the thing we heard throughout the whole thing because it seemed like everyone asked that question at least 2 times,
like every panel.
And at least a couple of times during then. It was like make it $2.99. And if you really think about it, I mean, DC is cutting down their cost. It's $2.99, but also taking out pages and stuff.
Not so much.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, who knows? They might end up regretting this decision.
But I think I'll try the new Daredevil book regardless,
because
I know that Mark Waid is a good writer, and I know that Paulo Rivera is a good artist.
Yeah, that fact alone. I mean, I'm kind of up in the air that I want to give it a shot. My exciting one of the new number ones coming out is the Moon Knight one.
The Moon Knight, yes.
Moon Knight is moving to L.A. because he's realized that there's too many heroes in New York City, and all the villains have realized this as well, and so they're moving to L.A., out west.
Correct.
So Moon Knight's going to follow them, and he's also, because he's with the Secret Avengers, he's now interacting with more characters. He's developed his own personal identities of these characters. So he's taking along, because Moon Knight he's got a multi-personality disorder, and so he's taking on what he thinks Spider-Man is, who he thinks Wolverine is, and who he thinks Captain America is, and he's developed these powers out of it.
And he's going to L.A. to fight crime.
Yeah. And it's written by Michael Bendis.
And drawn by Malev?
Yes.
Alex Malev?
I believe so. And I am excited for that one. I mean, it just sounds like an interesting twist on it. Moon Knight's a pretty interesting character, and I don't know, that one was my favorite of the new ones. I didn't really care for the second one. Which one's the second one?
What are you saying?
There's 3 number ones coming out.
Right.
There's
the Daredevil,
the Punisher.
The Punisher.
The Punisher. I'm kind of sick of Punisher. It seems like the same thing all the time. So that's the one I'm not excited about.
Right. They didn't really talk too much about that because none of the creative team were there for that.
Yeah.
It was Greg Rucka and I'm not sure who was the artist.
It was some guy. It was some people I've never heard before.
Yeah.
So
I don't recall who the artist was, but they didn't really speak of it much. I guess it's just going to be a transition from Remender's Punisher and the Frankencastle and the whole debacle.
The way they said, they're like, Remender destroyed the Punisher and we're just trying to get him back.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what they said. I mean, I kind of agree. I liked what Remender did to the Punisher, though. I mean, he made it a story where it's not, I'm Punisher, you're bad people, bang, bang. I miss my wife.
He didn't really miss his wife in Frankencastle much. He was like, I'm a monster, what's going on?
That's what I'm saying. In all of the Punishers, it's kind of like the same situation I just said.
Right.
That didn't count as my voice, though. At home, we got critiqued by our comic book show buddy, Jared. He and a couple other people, they told us things we should improve on the show, things they don't like, things they like. And one of the things was the voices. I do too many voices.
It's true.
And so they cut down that I get to do one voice a week. One voice.
If anybody disagrees, wants some more voices.
Oh, please let me know.
Hit the Facebook page up.
Oh, you'd make me so excited if people are just like, I want to hear more voices.
It'll be a roller coaster ride.
Because I'm doing what the people want, and people apparently don't want 10 voices from me.
I don't know.
But we'll find out. So if you disagree with the one voice per episode, please let me know on Facebook. Or you can give me a call. That would be even more exciting. You want to give me a call, you can. The number is 315-312-2907.
Are you sure?
Hans, he broke his glasses over the weekend.
I can't see it.
So literally, I feel like I'm with Mr. Magoo.
I can't see a thing.
Like, he's walking around, like, we'll be like, hey, look, there's Patrick. And he's like,
Who? Where's Patrick?
And he goes, where? And he starts talking to a tree. I'm like, nope, that's a tree. Patrick's over there. Oh, my stars and gowners.
It's very unfortunate because I couldn't tell who was Jeph Loeb at the convention.
It was.
Like, where's Jeph Loeb? Are you Jeph Loeb? No, you're not Jeph Loeb.
It was so funny. Yeah. Well, okay. Should we talk about Jeph Loeb now or take a break?
Let's take a quick break.
Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk about Jeph Loeb, and also we talk about what comics are coming out this week. So we'll be back in just a jiffy. Host B. Luke, Hans and Rebecca are here with me. Hi, guys.
Hey, Brian.
All right. So back to C2E2. Jeph Loeb is there. For people who don't know who Jeph Loeb is, he
writes everything.
He basically writes everything. He Ultimate Universe. He writes a whole bunch of stuff. He is the executive producer, or he was the executive producer of Heroes,
or as he likes to call himself, the mayor of TV.
The mayor of TV. He does everything involving Marvel TV now, and it was pretty exciting. I told him a joke, and him and Brian Michael Bendis laughed at it.
I wouldn't say they didn't raffle.
They chuckled, Hans.
They did chuckle.
I got a chuckle.
Hey, I would take that too. I'm just jealous.
So I went to Jeph Loeb, and he did the ultimatum thing where he's killed off so many people. He killed off Sabretooth. He killed off like everyone in the Ultimate Universe practically. He killed Spider-Man, and then Bendis brought him back. Jeph Loeb killed the Abomination.
He killed Wasp.
Yeah, he killed the Wasp. I mean, Jeph Loeb. So
he killed Dr. Doom.
And he does it in such a way, it's all like, wow, this is pretty awesome. So I went to Jeph Loeb, and now he signed my book. I'm like, Jeph Loeb, I just have to say, you're my favorite murderer. And he starts laughing because I've never been called that before.
He chuckled. He liked it.
Brian Michael Bendis is next to him, and he starts laughing. And, in hindsight, I should have looked at Brian Michael Bendis and been like, hey, you're Brian Michael Bendis. You're the guy who brings back the people Jeph Loeb kills.
I think they would have liked it.
I think so.
Oh, well.
But, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. And
You were nervous. You were giddy like a little schoolgirl.
was not.
You were
That
too.
isn't true.
I have a picture of your backpack just like flying in the air over your shoulders as you're just jumping up and down, squealing.
That's maybe that might have happened. Might have happened.
Speechless.
Until I see proof of it in like a picture or something.
All right, Facebook. Here it comes.
All right, we'll post it on Facebook if it's early out there. I'm gonna delete it though if it is. So,
All right.
not just kidding. If it's, I think I have seen it. I think I'm just I have an excited face on.
It's super excited, and your backpack is in the air.
All right, but yeah, we saw Jeph Loeb, and the weird thing was we didn't just see him there.
We saw him everywhere.
Like, and it was always and like every time we got our cameras out, we ended up just taking a picture of the back of his head. CBR hosted this event after the Comic-Con, and we went there, and there was Jeph Loeb.
We had like 7 sightings of Jeph Loeb.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
90% of them were the back of his head, though.
Yeah, every time we saw him, like, that's Jeph Loeb, and like so every time I see a bald person or hair challenged person, I'm gonna be like, hey, that's Jeph Loeb.
No, it's not.
That's not Jeph Loeb.
Hopefully we'll get to the other half someday. It literally is half a story. Simone had to go on, and now he's back, and now I got to find time in order to finish it up. They say we're too dead out there,
And it was pretty exciting. My favorite part
That was
though,
the running joke of the weekend.
My favorite part of Jeph Loeb was when we were walking out Friday night, and all of a sudden I'm like,
Wait, set it up.
Right.
We were looking for Jeph Loeb the entire night. We were looking for Jeph Loeb. We were looking for Joe Quesada. We were looking for Brian Michael Bendis.
all over. We couldn't find. We were pretty upset. We're like, oh, man, maybe they're all doing something important. And we're walking out, and all of a sudden, Hans goes, hey,
There's Jeph Loeb.
And I was like, Hans, that's not Jeff. That's Jeph Loeb.
Hey, there's Joe Quesada.
And then all of a sudden we look to the left, and there's Joe Quesada, and then right next to Joe Quesada is Brian Michael Bendis. Like the three triumvirate, or just like
The holy triumvirate of the Marvel Universe.
Marvel Universe. And we're stunned there, and I go to take a picture, and my batteries die. Or they are dead. I'm trying to exchange them, and I'm awestruck. I'm just like, there's the 3 people who I like the most. They're right in front of me. I could literally run up and hug them if I wanted to.
We could have stalked them. You had the chance to follow them, but you didn't.
Oh, I did. But I felt like the fact that I've already taken like 20 pictures of Jeph Loeb.
I think the number gets higher every time we tell the story.
Maybe it's like my uncle tells a story about this alligator, and every time he's in,
When you're telling your grandchildren, oh, we took 1,000 pictures of Jeff. He was my favorite.
well, he's my favorite.
Good job, bud.
But yeah, Jeph Loeb was pretty awesome. And all right, this is my favorite story. We were in line for Matt Fraction, and I was really excited to see him because Matt Fraction,
You didn't save me a spot in line either. You just had to mention
You didn't
that.
save me a sign for Bendis,
Yeah, well,
so
you deserved it.
it's equal. So I totally fly by everybody because I'm so excited. Once I get Bendis to sign, or Matt Fraction to sign my Kitty Pryde Returns and my Nightcrawler Dead issues, I was like in 7th heaven. And I was like, wait, I didn't get a picture with Fred Van Lente. And so, or a picture, or there's this guy, Ryan Stegman.
Stegman.
And I was like, you know what? I want Ryan Stegman to draw a cover on my blank cover, draw a picture.
Totally
So
my idea.
I jump back in line with you. It's pretty awesome. And we're standing there, and all of a sudden I see Fred Van Lente, and I'm like, I've always wanted to ask him this question. Always. No, I shouldn't do it. Yes, I should. And the question I wanted to ask him was, what's his deal with the undead?
It's funny because that's exactly how thoughts go through your head. That slow. I'm sorry, that was mean. Continue.
That was really mean.
Continue, Fred Van Lente.
I'm done.
The best guy ever.
All right. So I looked at Fred Van Lente. I was like, Mr. Fred Van Lente, I said Fred Van Lent, and he didn't correct me.
He didn't correct you, but everybody over the weekend was saying Van Lente.
Yeah, so I assume it's Fred Van Lente. So, I don't know, maybe I'll Google him. No, what's his name? I'll Twitter him what his real name is pronounced.
Hey, I met you. What's your name?
But I asked him, I was like, what's your deal with the undead, Mr. Fred Van Lente? He goes, it's a very interesting question. Marvel Zombies, I didn't really want to do it. They found me. and I wrote it because they asked me to. And he was like, I don't know, they just find me for the undead stuff. I personally don't have a thing with it. And he goes, the one thing I am doing is there's a new Spider-Man. This is an exclusive, by the way. Exclusive.
Don't ever do that again.
All right. Fred Van Lente told me that Spider-Man 659 is going to be about zombies. And it's also the crossover with the Fantastic Four. So the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, they're going to meet zombies.
That kind of makes sense. I mean, maybe they're going to go back to the whole thing about the Ultimate Universe where the Fantastic Four were first zombified.
Maybe. But I was pretty excited that I know Fred Van Lente was like, this is an exclusive. No one else knows about this.
That is pretty awesome.
And I was like, he goes, don't tell anyone. I was like, can I tell him this on my show, which is this show right here? And obviously, the answer. Well, you don't really know the answer. He said yes, it was okay to use it. I mean, I totally could be using this without his knowledge.
Could be a jerk and just spoiling everything for everyone.
But he said I could tell people.
We're going to get calls from Marvel.
Like, you owe us $1 million, sir, for spoiling the comics. No, you can't. People spoil comics all the time, and there's no suing.
He told us it has to be solicited somewhere.
He told us, so it's okay. But he says not very many people know.
Yeah.
He said I was going to. He gave me an exclusive. And it was really awesome. Like, I had just a basic chit chat with him.
Yeah, it was delightful.
My one thing was I forgot to bring my microphone. I was hoping to maybe get interviews with people.
You could have done it on your phone.
Yeah, but I don't know how well it was going to turn out.
I don't think they had time for interviews.
That too. But yeah,
they were running around all over the place. I mean, we saw Mark Waid just running up and down the aisles buying crap.
We did. It was really weird. And I want Mark Waid to sign stuff. And my most disappointing part of the weekend, not including my time with Hans, was J. Scott Campbell.
Oh, J. Scott Campbell.
You want to talk about this?
That was actually really depressing. He didn't show up.
And why was it, Hans?
I have no idea.
Exactly. You checked everywhere?
I did. I checked his Twitter. I checked his blog. I checked his Facebook. I checked his webpage. I checked everything. There is no reason.
And during the Cup of Joe, they mentioned J. Scott Campbell's.
Yeah, Jeph Loeb mentioned him. Jeph Loeb's like, maybe if J. Scott Campbell quit hanging out with the ladies and drinking and partying and drawing calendars, and maybe he'd get something done.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. That Jeph Loeb said that, number one.
Yeah.
But the fact that...
Well, I mean, he's working with Jeph Loeb on a Spider-Man project.
Yeah, and he's just like... I mean, I feel like that's J. Scott Campbell's just the Hugh Hefner of Marvel Comics.
I think he is.
I don't know what he looks like, though, either. Like, it was really weird, because I've saw pictures of them online, like on Wikipedia, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. And seeing these people in real life, that these are the people... Like, Matt Fraction, for example.
Matt Fraction
looks a young man.
Yeah.
Like, Bendis, he looks like he's 40. I mean, I've seen his face all over, so I was kind of familiar with it. And
Bendis...
What I figured.
Looks like a bald hobbit.
Matt Fraction was really, really like, wow, why... You're old enough to be in comics?
He looked like 25, maybe.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, this is kind of exciting. And same thing with Kirkman, the artist for Emerald Warriors.
Kirkham,
yeah. He was really young as well.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of exciting, like, seeing these people, like, what they look like. Now whenever I see in the comics Brightest Day, or even Green Lantern, the Red Lantern guy, what's his name? Archelius?
Atrocitus?
Yeah, him.
Something like that.
I pictured Dave or Doug Mankey drawing it. Like, drawing big old muscles on him. And like he's just
gotta draw the big bull.
Yeah, it was an exciting weekend.
It was. It really was.
Yeah, so why don't we take a break? Not a break from comics, just a break in general from that. Hans, why don't you tell people what's coming out in the DC Comics?
In the DC Comics, all right. What do we got? The new Green Lantern crossover series is beginning, the War of the Green Lanterns, and I believe, unless it's a misprint on the DC website, that the first 2 chapters are coming out this week.
Yeah, that's what I saw as well. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
I'm pretty excited about this event, though.
Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about the
Well,
more
at
Green
the
Lanterns?
end of the prologue, everybody should have read it by now if they were interested. So
Yeah, there wasn't too much of a. It's not too much of a spoiler.
no. At the end of the prologue, it said basically one of the 4 main Green Lanterns will either no longer be a lantern or die or something.
Correct.
So you've got Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner, and Kyle Rayner. So and they're all fighting over something. I don't know what yet, but
yeah, is that the way you interpreted it?
that's the way I interpreted it.
My way to interpret it was there's just going to be 3 Green Lanterns
Meaning,
in all of the sectors. I know that in all of the Green Lantern world, there's going to be 3 of them. Instead of the thousands
really?
there are. That's why I interpret. Because I was really confused at the end there when it goes, there's only going to be 3.
yeah, I assumed one of those 4 were getting cut out.
Interesting. I kind of. Which I don't know. Did they give that away in the Brightest Day panel when they talk about Kyle Rayner becoming a Red Lantern
No, not Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner.
or Guy Gardner? I'm sorry.
They talked about exploring the Red Lantern aspect of him a little more.
Yeah. So
They didn't say if he was permanently going
Yeah,
to
they
become
didn't say like 100%, but they kind of hinted that he's going to experiment with the Green.
And I'm
the Red
assuming
Lanterns.
that they're putting out a Red Lantern ongoing soon. So I'm assuming they're going to explore that there a little more.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I kind of know that Hal Jordan will still be Green Lantern.
Do you?
I mean, you can't, especially with the movie out right now, you cannot have Hal Jordan not be Green Lantern.
Well,
Because you have the movie going on and everything, so he's definitely safe. But Jon Stewart.
well, they could take Hal Jordan out of it and make him a normal person again, and just rely on the movies to create the Hal Jordan story even further.
I don't think that money wise that would be, because money wise people are going to see the movie now and be like, I want to read about Green Lantern, and they're going to pick up a comic and go, oh,
Right, but I
where's
believe
this-
I read somewhere that the movie is going to tie to the books. I don't know how.
Oh no, that's a backup thing they're doing. I
No,
don't-
not just the,
Oh.
not just the previews, but it's going to tie to the books.
I mean, I'm not saying like that's my guess. My guess is that he's not going to be.
Yeah, it's
Take
the
away.
most obvious guess.
I think the 2 are going to be Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner,
I think Jon Stewart.
because he hasn't been in the comics.
He hasn't
lately,
been
or-
in anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's also I just didn't want to say Jon Stewart because he's my fave. Like
Because
that-
he was in the cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was awesome in that cartoon. He was like the best. All right, so we have the War of the Green Lanterns out. What else for DC?
DC, you've got Batman: The Dark Knight #2,
Which I read the first,
penciled by David Finch.
who you were in love with.
I love David Finch. His shiny bald head.
But yeah, David. I read the first issue. It was pretty good.
Yeah, there's always some sort of little twist to it. Well, at least there was in the first issue.
Yeah. So.
You did read it, right?
Yeah.
They debuted the Penguin in the series at the end of the first issue.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of exciting. So I'm kind of looking forward for that one. My favorite this one though is the next one,
What's that?
Batman Incorporated.
Oh, Batman Inc. Right,
Yeah,
right.
Batman Inc. I read the first issue of that one, and issue 2 comes out next week or tomorrow, and it looks pretty good. It looks exciting. There's a tentacle monster, and
Wait, issue what comes out?
I think it's issue 2.
Issue 4 comes out. Actually.
Oh, issue 4. Okay, so I have to catch up a little bit. But yeah, I kind of like this whole Batman Incorporated idea, where Batman's going around the world finding other Batmans.
I actually haven't read this yet, but I've
Oh.
heard a lot of good press about it.
Yeah, I know your friend Corey. He's big on too.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, he's great. All right, in the Marvel universe, my number 1 pick that's coming out tomorrow is it's actually a tie. It's FF number 1, which we've talked about immensely, I think 2 times now this week. That comes out. I'm really excited about that one. And Ultimate Spider-Man comes out, 156. And I really like what they're doing with Spidey and this whole death of Spider-Man.
which they didn't give anything away of that.
They did or didn't?
They didn't.
They didn't. That was under wraps.
Like
to
someone
me.
maybe not. Someone's gonna do something. I don't know what yet.
Yeah.
Someone else is gonna be there. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? It might happen. Might not.
I mean, they said they called it the death of Spider-Man, but they didn't say anyone was dying.
Yeah. Uncanny X-Men comes out. It's the conclusion of the quarantine issues,
Which has been a really good run.
It has been. I'm kind of like, this is like
They've got this weird new villain that brought
it's not new, but
semi-new,
yeah,
unknown pretty much.
yeah. I mean, he's been in the recent ones, but he kind of seemed like a one-shot villain. Like, oh, he's in it, and now he's gone. Now he's back, and
now he's back, and he's more prominent.
Yeah, he's got like a lot more to him.
Mm-hmm. And he developed
he developed these serums that when a normal person like you and me drink them, we get powers.
Right, but you have to continually be taking it. Correct?
Yeah, it's like the kind of thing where it's kind of like alcohol.
It's kind of like alcohol.
Yeah, you know how you drink alcohol and you get drunk and
so you're saying these normal people are becoming drunk?
Well, drunk with the powers, yeah.
Correct.
Because once you're not you're drunk and you're having fun, the only way to keep drunk is to keep drinking it. And if you don't drink anymore, become sober, just like them.
Correct.
Wow, okay, that's awesome. Let's see, Hulk 31 comes out, written by Jeph Loeb.
Jeph Loeb.
We can talk about that real fast.
Okay, what?
The Incredible Hulks,
Incredible
written
Hulks.
by Greg Pak.
Yes.
They're going to be ending they're going to end a whole big run of it.
I don't know if it's soon, but did they say Greg Pak was going to be...
He's leaving this year.
Okay.
And Heart of the Monster is going to be his finale issues.
Right.
Which sounds really awesome because he's going to tie in everything since when they shot the Hulk into space to World War Hulk, Planet Scar.
Right.
Everything that's ever happened to the Hulk since he's been shot into space is going to be wrapped up in this book because Greg Pak wants to leave it. Which I understand. He's been on the book for...
you don't know that he wants to leave it, but he's leaving it.
I know, he's leaving it. Well, I feel like... I don't know how it is.
He's created this epic story, and now it's all coming to an end.
Yeah, and so that's kind of exciting. And the last one coming out this week... I don't know if it's... Oh, it is. Doom.
Yeah, Ultimate
Doom.
Ultimate Doom issue
you want to take
4. Brian Michael Bendis has created this, what is it, 12-issue epic story where Reed Richards, known hero in the Ultimate Universe and the regular Marvel Universe, he has become the main villain. And I believe they're calling him Dr. Doom now.
That's correct.
Since the Ultimate Thing just... What did he do, Brian? He just kind of clobbered his head and his head exploded?
Who did he kill?
Doom.
Doom died
in Ultimatum.
Ultimatum, the Thing killed him.
Jeph Loeb killed him with the Thing.
The Thing took his head and goes...
Right.
And he just...
So Reed Richards is sort of replacing him in this. I don't know how long it's going to last that he's a villain, but I like it.
I believe it's going to be a long time because
we
talked to Bendis about it.
He's one of the smartest villains that could ever exist, aside from Dr. Doom. So he's a good replacement. But Bendis said the issue came out and it's gonna rock your socks. You should love it. I'm not sure. What comes afterwards. Brian, do you know?
I don't know. As you said a couple weeks ago, I didn't even know Ultimate Doom was connected to the mystery enemy.
Yeah. But it is the final chapter of this Doom story, so hopefully it ties it all back into the Ultimate Universe and things go crazy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I read issue 1 through 3, and they were spectacular. They were delightful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories.
He gave you a guarantee, I believe.
Yeah, he guaranteed it would rock my socks. Yeah,
because you're like, I love your Ultimate Doom. He goes, just wait till issue 4, buddy. Wait till issue 4.
Yeah, he's like, comes out next week.
So that's our picks for this week. There's a lot of other stuff coming out. Uncanny X-Force 6, Namor the First Mutant.
Good old Namor.
Let's see, Silver Surfer 2.
Which he actually got shot at the end of the first issue.
He did. It was interesting. It was weird. I'm up in the air about the Namor. I mean, I read it and it was just okay. Just okay.
You read Namor?
Yeah,
Really?
I did. Yeah. So C2E2 was pretty awesome. I don't know. It's something I want to go to every year from now on. One thing that was awesome about it was the fact that it was like free autograph signings of famous people.
Right, but
Except the one person we didn't talk about.
we can talk about that. How much time we got?
We got 5 minutes.
Oh, well then we can't quite talk about it later.
All right. Well, we can do a part 2 episode.
Yeah, we can do it next week.
All right. So this is our first part 2 episode. It'll be C2E2
Part 2. I like that.
P2.
C2E2
C2E2
P2.
P2. I like that. So this will be C2E2 P1.
All right.
Doesn't have the 2 on it, but that's pretty exciting. But yeah, we'll talk about because I don't know. There's a whole other. There's so much stuff that happens.
Yeah.
That when you think about like the awesomest stuff, which we talked about some of it, and then it just there was a lot of stuff that happened, and we'll talk. We'll go more in detail next week about it. But we'll post some pictures online about it, and also we'll get more. We've been kind of slacking on the issues or episodes online.
We've gotten behind. I mean, it was midterms week before we left.
Yeah,
so.
and then there was no Wi-Fi in the hotel.
Yeah,
which that was weird.
Yeah, well, they
And I
can't
was feeling
always
kind of
give you
sick
free
from the
Wi-Fi.
White Castle.
Yeah, the White Castle, man.
Rebecca, you guys into eating this White Castle.
It's tradition. When you get out there, is White Castle. You gotta stop there and eat it.
What's your obsession with this White Castle? I mean, I don't understand this.
I don't know. Whenever I go on trips with the family, it's always, White Castle or the 5-star chili. It's just something you have to
It
do.
took a 5-minute detour for White Castle.
We did.
It's not that it's all that delicious. It's just something that we don't like. Sonic. We didn't go back to that Sonic we missed. You guys wanted to go there?
Yeah, I always want to go to Sonic. It's
I've never been to Sonic.
delicious.
But
Binghamton has one.
But I don't know. It was kind of weird because the White Castle burger. I've never had a burger that had more bun than burger.
It was.
And I tried, and she wanted to go to it again the other night, and I was like, all right, so I got the A1 steak sauce one.
Right.
And there was more A1 steak sauce than burger.
There was more everything than burger. It was bun, onion, and whatever.
Pickle.
Pickle.
There was more pickle than burger. Like, I almost feel like they're Krabby Patties in a way.
Krabby Patty.
You
They
know
could
what?
be.
It's well worth the 68 cents it cost, guys,
That was one thing I did like, was that it was like 89
I think they should
cents.
put a little more meat on there and bump it up to 78.
Yeah, maybe like a double stack. I think they do have double. Like, I walked in there and they had like a whole, like, there was like, it was called like the Ultimate Hunger. It was like 30 patties for like
Holy
$18.
cow.
And I was just like, where's Hans? We could like split this and
I would not
it'd be
touch
good
that.
for like a month.
I could not do that.
I know. You ate one like it was 5 hours old. How was that?
That was, I don't even know. That was a disaster.
Yeah, but yeah, White Castle, it was very interesting, Rebecca. Very interesting. I've never had it before. My grandpa was a big fan of White Castle. And I saw it in that movie Harold and Kumar called White Castle.
I think that's the only thing people know it from, really.
Yeah. So I was kind of, that's kind of why I wasn't like, no, I don't want to go to White Castle. But it's just like, I don't know, my grandpa liked it. Harold and Kumar apparently loved it.
Twice.
And once.
They had a sequel.
Yeah, but they didn't go to White Castle?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. I don't remember if they did or not. They were escaping from Guantanamo Bay. And
Guantanamo?
They smoked pot with a president. I'm pretty sure it wasn't President Bush. It was just one of those imitation people.
It was an imitation.
All right. Well, I don't know if he made a cameo or something.
I mean, I didn't see the movie, but I know it was an imitation.
All right. I don't know. I'm trying to think now. He was really good at being George W. Bush.
I don't think you can say George W. Bush smoked pot with Harold and Kumar on the radio.
Can you?
I don't know.
We said it twice now.
I'm trying to correct you every time.
Oh, I don't. I didn't say he did it for real. He just did in the movies. I mean, you can do anything in the movies. I mean, we saw that in C2E2. We'll talk about that with your Dark Knight adventures. We took pictures of where the Dark Knight was from.
Oh, right,
filmed.
right.
We'll talk about other famous things. There's a lot to talk about Ivan Reis. We'll talk about him and his way he signs books and everything.
It's very important. It's crucial.
All this and more
It's
next
crucial to who
week
he
on
is.
C2E2P2.
Who's excited?
I am.
All
only on
right.
Fresh to Death Comics. So we'll see you next week, everyone, at Tuesdays at 2.
Don't do that.
Tuesdays at 2?
No.
I like Tuesdays at 2.
All right.
All right. Every Tuesdays at 2. All right. Good night and good luck, world.
WNYO, Oswego, New York. Stay fresh.